Welcome to the Rotary Club of Tulsa, where the University of Tulsa's best and brightest alumni join with Tulsa's finest business and community leaders to network, forge friendships, and do good in our community. We appreciate you being with us today. So as has become our custom, we're going to say hello to each other here in a minute, but I want to encourage you today. So, little known fact, today is actually National Lemon Cream Pie Day. You heard it here first. That's one reason to show up at Rotary every Wednesday. And so in honor of that and the fact that we probably all ate way too much pie last week, when you're visiting with each other, inquire as to what your new friend's favorite pie is. It's not that hard. You just have to ask, hey, what's your favorite pie? So let's say hello to each other. Okay. Okay, so everybody knows what everybody's favorite pie is now. We've got a terrific program in store for you, so we're going to go ahead and get started. John O'Connor is going to lead us in our invocation today. That went over a bit better than it started. I got these like blank stares back from you all when it was the pie thing, but now I can't. Okay, we're good now. Okay. John O'Connor is going to lead us in our invocation. Carl Vincent's going to lead us in song and pledge, and then Karen Keith will introduce our visitors. John?
Thank you, President Mike. Please join me in prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, thank you for placing us in this Rotary Club and here today. Thank you for Rotary's dedication to service, placing the needs of others above ourselves. Thank you for modeling service to us and for inspiring us to serve. Thank you for a country where we're free to assemble and reach out to you. Thank you for the abundance you have given each of us. We will devote that abundance to service. Thank you for higher education, public and private, including the University of Tulsa in the Tulsa area. Thank you for Dr. Clancy and for Paula. Thank you for leading Dr. Clancy as he leads us and serves our community. Please bless our time together. Bless those who prepare and serve the food. And we give you thanks. In thy name, amen.
Let's join together and sing America the Beautiful. Oh, beautiful for spacious eyes, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains' majesty, above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So welcome everyone to our Rotary Club today. And if earlier was any indication, we may be one of the chattiest clubs ever. So I'd like to give a list of our guests today. And I'm going to begin with Gable Gottwals. We have a whole table for Gable Gottwals. They are here in honor of Dick Gable, our longtime wonderful Rotarian. So John Rule, Rick Newells, Sid Swinson, Michael Scoggins, Sam Clancy, James Sears, and Andrew Pauley. Thank you all so much for being here today. And Jeff Hassel will introduce all the family members in a minute. And we also very much appreciate you being here. Your dad was amazing. Okay, other visitors. Chuck Wilson has Mike Bartlett and Larry Aarons. Thank you for coming. And Phil Viles has Tim Thompson from the TU College of Law, which is fitting. And John DeBar has Jim Goodwin. Welcome, Jim. Roger Ramsmeyer has Judge Joe Morris, also with Gable Gottwalls. Okay. And Duff Weddle has Ben Abney. Joseph Moore has Debbie Stumps. Thanks for coming. And Cara Gay Neal has Ken Bruni and her husband, Ken Neal. Andrew Ralston brings Kathy Duck to meet us today. She's with the chamber. They both work together. And John Crouch. Dr. Crouch has Ben Dowdell, who works with him on Good Samaritan. And Scott Philstrup, Rick Stearns, welcome. Graydon Yohe, Tom Neff. And from Sand Springs, Brian Jackson is a visiting Rotarian. Let's give all of our visitors and visiting Rotarian a big round of applause. So thank all of you for coming as guests, and please, please come back and join us anytime. We'd love to have you.
Thank you, John, Carl, and Karen. Appreciate that. And yes, welcome visitors. We hope you'll feel welcome today, and we'll come back, and hopefully you'll consider joining us as we work together as friends and business leaders and community leaders to serve our community. We'd love to have you on board. We're doing some great things in this club. So we want to say thanks to this week's meeting sponsors whose sponsorships help defray the costs of our club. Bill Richard with Richard Properties, thank you, Bill, and Dave Moore with Tulsa Wealth Advisors. Thank you, Dave. And as always, we encourage you to do business with your fellow Rotarians. And in addition to today's sponsors, let's also thank all of those volunteers whose service makes our meetings run so smoothly. Thank you, volunteers. And now, Jeff, if you want to come forward, Past President Jeff Hassel, excuse me, sir, is going to present a memorial resolution for our dear friend Dick Gable.
Thank you, President Mike. Before I start the resolution, I thought I would introduce the members of, Dick's family who are here. So Susan Krebsbach and Maggie Doyle are Dick's daughters, and they're here in the front. And then Susan Stewart, Dick's cousin, and her husband Warren are here as well. And we're very glad you all could be here. I'll also say one more thing about Dick, my longtime law partner. He was loved and respected by his colleagues, as evidenced by the turnout today, and there were many more who would have loved to have been here as well. His loss is truly felt by a lot of people. The Rotary Club of Tulsa honors the memory and celebrates the life of our fellow Rotarian, Richard W. Dick Gable. Dick was born on November 7th, 1938, to G. Ellis Gable and Frances Doyle Gable in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and passed away peacefully on August 8th, 2017, surrounded by his daughters and granddaughter. Dick is survived by his brother, Thomas Gable, his two daughters, Maggie Doyle and her wife, Krista McGalliard, and Susan Krebsbach, and her husband, Joe. He is also survived by his grandchildren, Sammy Howard and her husband, Lane, and Jay Gable Krebsbach. Dick graduated from the University of Oklahoma, where he received a bachelor's degree in engineering because it was easy for him, he always said. Not sure many people have ever said engineering was easy. He knew he wanted to become an attorney, though, and he graduated from the OU Law School in 1963. He was a member of Phi Delta Theta Undergraduate Social Fraternity and Phi Alpha Delta Law School Fraternity. He joined the firm of Gable and Gottwalls upon graduation and remained there his entire career. He practiced commercial and real estate law in the Tulsa office of Gable and Gottwalls, where he handled many significant transactions and lawsuits and mentored many young attorneys, including myself. Dick was a man of diverse interests. He was active on several of his high school reunion committees and was a longtime member of All Souls Unitarian Church and the Tulsa Ski Club. During his golfing years, Dick was a member of Cedar Ridge Country Club. He loved snow skiing, backpacking, and fly fishing, traveling the world, attending opera and theater with his daughters, and spending time with his family and friends. Notably, Dick also hosted a visiting professor from China, Deng Hao, who taught Chinese in Tulsa Public Schools for a year. Dick was a longtime member of this club, the Rotary Club of Tulsa, and was a Paul Harris Fellow, a Club Foundation Fellow, and a Special Lifetime Member. Among other things, he served on the Classifications Committee and the Rotary Club of Tulsa Foundation Grants Committee. Dick was also a member of the Shriners and the Royal Order of Jesters. With gratitude for the life of Dick Gable, his love for his family, and his service through Rotary, be it resolved that the club approve this resolution by standing for a moment of silence.
Thank you, Jeff. Dick was a great Rotarian with a kind heart, and he will truly be missed. He was a mentor and a friend to so many people here, so we do miss him. So I have several announcements today because this club is like way busy. So bear with me as I get through these. So first thing I'd like to do, this is really cool. I'd like to acknowledge Duff Weddle's special guest, Parker Morrison. Parker was with us a couple of weeks. Parker, go ahead and stand up and be embarrassed while I'm talking about you. So Dr. Clancy Parker is a sophomore. You know Parker well? Well, okay. So enrolled in the Global Scholars Program at the University of Tulsa. This is a prestigious international studies program offered among a network of several universities, of which TU is a member. Now, Parker will be leaving in January to spend a semester abroad. He'll be enrolled in an affiliated university at Buenos Aires, Argentina. Tough duty. And Parker is also one of us. He is a Rotex, a student who participated in Rotary's International Youth Exchange Scholarship Program when he was in high school, and he spent a year abroad in Japan before enrolling at TU. While in Argentina, Parker also plans to become affiliated with the Rotary Club in Buenos Aires and to undertake a service project on behalf of that club. That is so cool that you're going to do that, Parker. So best wishes to you, Parker, next semester, and we look forward to your return trip, and maybe you can tell us a little bit about it. Welcome. The world of Rotary. I love it. Club elections will be next week. The slate of officers approved by the nominating committee is approved, and next week we'll be voting for director at large. Our nominees as selected by the nominating committee are, and if you'll please stand, John DeBar, Jack McClumphy, and Bill Miller. These are the three gentlemen we'll be voting for next week. Tough selection. And I want to say thanks, John, Jack, and Bill, for you guys for standing for election. If you will not be here next week, you can see Rochelle or Tommy Lynn and vote by absentee ballot today. So I would encourage you to do that. Otherwise, we'll be voting next week. And Bob Vassar and his able-bodied election crew will be running that show for us. So Shop with a Cop is Saturday, just 3 days away. We could still use about 3 more volunteers. Again, this is a great opportunity to see how our club is touching our community through Celia Clinton. There are I think it's 24 children that are going to be participating in this. And so that means there's going to be 24 families out at Celia Clinton this year that are going to actually have Christmas this year that may not be having a Christmas without this program. A lot of these people cannot afford Christmas gifts. So what we do is a police officer takes the student shopping for their family members, and we have an allotment that we can buy for them, and then a Rotarian will go and shop for that student, and so then they walk away with this big old bag of gifts, and to see the gratitude particularly in the parents' hearts, but even the students' hearts, it's fantastic. So if you got a couple hours Saturday morning, get with Chris McCowan. I don't think he's here today, but get with myself or Rochelle, and we can get you signed up for that. Another opportunity to serve is next week on Thursday, Salvation Army bell ringing, our annual Serve the Red Kettle. We still got I believe we still have some slots available. I didn't get a chance to look when I came in, but that's next Thursday if you can spare an hour. We've got a great tradition going in this club to raise the most money, and so we want to continue that on. And that's always a fun time, too. So we have cards on the table for Luann Buehlinger. Luann is having a medical procedure today, and so I'd ask that you keep her in your thoughts and prayers, and maybe write her a note for a speedy recovery so we can get her back quick. Now I want to thank Michelle Place, Matt Davis, Johan Talman, and Chuck Wilson, who have already offered to host fireside meetings. We announced this last week. And in addition to that, Linda Bradshaw and Diane Peacock are co-hosting a fireside meeting. So just as the massive gathering place under construction along the Arkansas River will become the place our community gathers, our club is well known for being the place to gather for community and business leaders. This year's Fireside Committee is offering you the opportunity to host a gathering place at your home. You were wondering where I was going with that. I know you were. Our fireside meetings provide us opportunities to meet in small groups, get better acquainted, and have discussions and provide input to our club's leadership, next year's leadership under Hannibal. We could still use 6 to 8 hosts to step up and help keep the fires burning for the Rotary Club of Tulsa. Come on, you guys got to work with me on this, man. So, fireside meetings are January 22nd through the 26th. So pick your time, pick your place, and sign up and be a host. And there's sign-up sheets on the table. We turned the fire off. Good. Okay. So today's committee meetings. Water well meeting already occurred before our meeting here. IBA committee will be meeting in room 233 after this meeting, fireside in room 232, and above and beyond in room 231. So if you're looking for a place to get involved, there's some ample opportunities there. Okay, Sarge time. Sir Charles.
Yes, sir. Is it on?
Are you on?
Well,
Are
I
you
have
there?
to say, I've got no fines today.
What?
No fines, but you do know in Article 64, paragraph 1B, small print, line 72.
Yes,
it says
yes.
that if there's no fines, then everybody
Yes.
here has to put $1 on the table.
That is true.
I researched that late into last night
Excellent.
and was so excited to find it.
Yes.
John helped verify it for me. Thank you, John.
Does John have $1 on him?
Well, we're going to find out here in a second. Which by the way, I have to say, I heard the phone go off during his prayer.
Yes.
And it may have been God just making sure he got here on time. But if anybody wants to rather do forego their $1, they can turn in the person with the phone. I'm just saying. So I know they're out there shaking in their boots.
So we need a buck from everyone today.
We just need $1 from everyone.
Yeah. Throw it on the table.
Oh, it goes for the foundation, so it's a good cause.
Oh, it's not for you? This isn't for you.
No, it's not for me.
Oh, okay.
Not for me. I'm not taking the dollars and going anywhere. There's a joke there, and I'll leave it alone.
Yeah.
Look at John. John is taking care of this table. This is amazing.
Nice.
So if you have somebody like John O'Connor at your table who not only prays but pulls out the big $5 bills.
Well, he is an
very
attorney
fortunate.
after all.
We're blessed. We're up to $6 at this table. This is exciting. And there's only 5 of us. This is incredible.
I'll bet we can top that.
I may never go in front of you guys ever again. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Wow. Okay, well, I'm going me turn the
Yeah,
mic
we may be
off.
on to something new here, huh?
Yeah, I've got put in my place really fast. Okay.
Well, I don't know. I still think I'm going to hear complaints that you didn't sing today, but we'll deal with that as we
Put
deal.
that off for a couple
Okay.
weeks. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Charles.
Mark, I have to give my son a dollar.
Oh, you gave your son $1. Okay, thanks. Yeah, I know how that is, yeah. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to get into our program, and I'm going to introduce our Rotarian of the day, who is Chuck Wilson. Chuck joined our Rotary Club in May of 1988, and Chuck is a mortgage banking officer with Associated Mortgage Corporation. Chuck served as our president in 1996, 1997, and in addition to his many leadership roles with the club, he is also a Paul Harris Fellow, a Club Foundation Fellow, a Rotary Club of Tulsa Foundation Benefactor, a Medical Supply Network Ambassador, and he's a member of the Allen Edwards Society. Chuck has sponsored, this number may be low, I'm showing 12 members into our club, and that I suspect that's probably low. So please join me in welcoming to the podium Rotarian of the Day, Chuck Wilson.
Thank you. Born, raised, and educated in Iowa, Gerard Clancy, along with his wife Paula and their family, came to Tulsa as Dean of the College of Medicine at OU Tulsa. Shortly thereafter, I met Dr. Clancy as he was working on a unique concept, the Bedlam Clinic, where OSU and OU would work together to treat the uninsured. At that time, our club made a major donation to sponsor the immunization department of that clinic. That is when I became acquainted with Dr. Clancy's heart and his Rotary spirit of giving back. And by the way, we got a major twofer when the Clancys came to Tulsa with Paula, who has made a tremendous contribution to this community. During his 14 years at OU Tulsa, where ultimately he became president, he led the raising of $362 million. And during the same period, as chairman of the Tulsa Area United Way, a record $26.6 million was raised. He also led efforts to bring top-notch medical care to underserved communities in our city. On January 1st, 2015, Dr. Clancy became VP and Dean of the TU College of Health Sciences. Then in late 2061, he became the 20th president of the University of Tulsa, replacing the late Stedman Upham. Thank God a friend of Dr. Clancy invited him to come to OU Tulsa to visit and eventually meet with David Boren. It won't surprise you that he knew in the first 2 minutes of his meeting with President Boren that he and Paula wanted to be here. Now, for the first time publicly, Dr. Clancy will deliver the vision of the new TU. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Honorary Rotarian Dr. Gerry Clancy.
Well, thank you, Chuck, and it is always an honor to be here. We were trying to recount how many times I've had the opportunity to come and speak here, and it's probably 6 or 7, which has just been great. And the Rotary Club really played an instrumental role in starting Bedlam Clinic. It was 15 years ago that we had an incredible need as far as health care for the working poor, and the Rotary clubs across Tulsa came together and as part of their 100th anniversary said, we're going to find $100,000 for you to kick off this clinic. And that clinic is still going, it's going straight, and so I appreciate Rotary being that foundational spark that got something good going in Tulsa for those that needed it. So I appreciate it very much. Well, it's very much been an extraordinary year. I took over as president just about a year ago, and Paul and I have got to travel the world, travel the country, and some surprising things have happened. On my first day of work, I was on the front page of the sports page of Tulsa World. Never thought would I think I would be on the sports page. But Bill Haston was telling me how to, what salaries I should pay my coaches. So, and people have asked oftentimes, has this year flown by? I bet you've just been so busy, and I bet you it's just flown by. And I say, actually, it's been the slowest year of my life. But one of the things that has been a great surprise and a great joy is this is our house now. This is Skelly Mansion. It's at 21st and Madison. We moved there just about this week, a year ago, into that house. And it's 10,000 square feet. It is 4 floors. Our youngest son, until just a few weeks ago, lived on the top floor, and the laundry was on the 4th floor, and the laundry was on the 1st floor. So Paula would climb the stairs with the laundry and said, every time I climb those 4 stories, it spikes my heart rate. So, but the house at first was incredibly daunting to live in. I mean, a house with so much history and so much importance to this town, and we're living in it. And it's a great honor to live there. But about 3 or 4 months ago, it went from daunting to really being very special for us. And it went from special for us because we were able to meet with the Skelly family and have dinner with them at the house. And they toured us around the house and started telling stories about William G. Skelly. And that house, back in the 1920s and 30s and 40s and 50s, was incredibly important as far as connecting Tulsa to the global economy. Mr. Skelly was an oil and gas man. He was an aviation man. And the house was meant as a gathering place. And they hosted, and he slept overnight, the presidents of the United States. President Coolidge stayed there. President Hoover stayed there. Will Rogers stayed there. Amelia Earhart stayed there. So the symbolism and actually the history of this house is that this house was a major player in Tulsa being part of the global economy in the 1920s and 30s. And it's an extraordinary house, and that's part of our mission now, is to live that out, live this house in that way again, that house is a gathering place for Tulsa to be part of the global economy. And that's part of our vision for TU, that TU will help Tulsa be part of the global economy as we go forward. And we're doing it again already. We've had the ambassador to Israel, the ambassador of Israel to the U.S. Give dinner there. We've had the president of the NCAA give dinner there. We've had the vice president for artificial intelligence for all of Microsoft there. We've had the vice president at Amazon that's responsible for the integration of Whole Foods with Amazon at the house. And so it's become a wonderful gathering place to connect Tulsa to the rest of the world. And so in going forward, one of the things you'll hear a lot from me is that we, the University of Tulsa, are named for this city. And we seek to be part of this city's vibrant future as far as economic development and growth. We want to be a major player as far as young talent recruitment, development, and retention. And I'm going to go through some of those challenges that we have first regarding that, but then go through how we're succeeding in these areas as well. And it's a quite exciting time for us. If you look to the future, every city is going to be in competition for young talent. As the baby boomers retire, 10,000 of us a day retiring, who is going to backfill for every city as far as that talent? And the young creative talent is mobile. They will go to where their jobs are. They will go where other young people will go to. And so as a city, you've got to be a place that is attractive to young talent if you want to succeed in the future. And this future is becoming more and more complicated. This is a complicated graph, but it's important for you to understand. On the horizontal axis, to your left, are jobs that are less likely to be automated. The jobs to the right are more likely to be automated as we go forward with artificial intelligence. The vertical axis is how much income, how much annual salary those jobs have. The bubbles, each bubble is a job sector. The size of the bubble is how many jobs are in that job sector. And then the color of the bubble is what college level of work do you need to do that job. So, for example, I'm in this CEO, doctor, dentist range. Very much not going to be automated. I hope not. I hope not. But down here, you've got a whole bunch of jobs that are going to be automated in the next 35 years or so. And it's a huge, huge responsibility as a university president to help get as many people over on this side of this. Jobs that are not routine, jobs that are highly complex and highly cognitive as far as job survivability. This is from Bloomberg News. They put together this graph. It's very interactive. You can click on each bubble and you'll see which jobs are strong and stable and which jobs may be vulnerable as far as the future. Well, alongside this study, there was another study that then said which cities are most likely to lose jobs based off of automation. The more red the bubble of a city is, the more likely that city will lose jobs to automation. This should scare all of us. And there's certain cities that have already built a vibrant knowledge economy, very strong on tech, very strong on healthcare. They're in more of the shaded blue cities. And I put little squares by those, little diamonds by those cities. Those cities look to the future to be bright, and that, unfortunately, they're attracting young people. And so we as a city, it's our responsibility to be one of those diamond cities. We have to move toward that as time goes on. And the University of Tulsa has to play a major role in that. So what are some of the areas and some of the challenges that we're under? Well, one of them is cybersecurity and information security. This is gross domestic product spending on cybersecurity itself. And what you see is that the line is up, up, up. The cyber world will only increase in complexity, and therefore the need for cyber-trained expertise will only increase as well. Fortunately, we are a university that is one of the top 3 in the entire nation in this. We are one of 3 centers of excellence in it. We're really, really strong in that. The second challenge is that we need to get people from high school and associate's degrees to the bachelor degree level. This shows what earning capacity is for an associate's degree and a high school degree compared to a bachelor's degree. When we look at our peer cities, Tulsa lags behind getting associate's degree people into the bachelor's degree people. We need to work on this. That transition has to happen. Mike Neal's group did a study. We have 180,000 in the Tulsa area who have partial college credit without a full degree. We have to move that forward. We're working very closely with TCC. We're working very closely with the U.S. Veterans Administration on this specifically. A third challenge is that the actual number of high school graduates, meaning those that are going to go to college in the country 10 years from now, is going to drop. So the competition for young talent will even go up because the pool is going to shrink. We have a shrinking number of 18 to 26-year-olds very soon, 10 years out. We have to be a university that is attractive enough that those fewer high school graduates will want to come to the University of Tulsa. And then lastly, affordability. We need to talk directly and deliberately about affordability of colleges. The sectors at the bottom of this slide in the blue are things that have become more affordable over the last few years. The ones in the red have actually become less affordable. And at the top of the list, you see universities and college tuition. One of my top mandates, alongside having a safe campus, is to have an affordable campus that people can go to. So, TU does a number of things very well. You understand that we are very strong in cybersecurity. You understand that we are very strong in petroleum engineering. But you may not know that we're strong in a lot of other areas as well. I call these the TU 10. American history and how American history can really help us as far as the divide that we have in this country as far as understanding who and where we came from. Our arts and humanities folks are very focused on justice. We have a wonderful frontier in neuroscience that we're working with the Laureate Institute of Brain Research, and it's extraordinary. We have artificial intelligence programs. Our computer science programs are rapidly shifting into all the work that they do is around artificial intelligence, and then we're very strong at big data. And I'm going to give you just a few examples of some of these centers of excellence for TU beyond what the usual suspects are for us. The first is we're working very hard on affordability. Now, you may not know it, but we are able to offer a huge amount of scholarships and financial aid at TU because of the generosity of Tulsans and our alumni over the years. On average, a scholarship at the University of Tulsa is $24,000 a year. Most people don't know that. We are approaching the price of our state schools, and our goal is actually to get under the price of the state schools with the amount of scholarships that we can offer to make TU. And at the same time, we continue to be the #1 ranked university in Oklahoma, Arkansas, Kansas, and New Mexico. We are #1 as far as U.S. News and World Reports. Thank you. We're also very strong in the world. We are number 19 in the world for universities under 5,000 students. So we're really strongly ranked, and at the same time are working very aggressively on affordability as we go forward. The second that we're really, really strong with that most people don't know about is our leadership programs. And so I'm teaching a class this year, the Presidential Leaders Fellowship. I have 127 freshmen. The title of the class is called How to Get Things Done in Complex Environments. And the students actually have to work on real problems and come to me with the policy recommendations that I will then take to our U.S. delegation and our state delegation. Their topics are alcohol policy on campus, funding public education in Oklahoma, healthcare coverage in Oklahoma, and U.S.-China trade policy. Some really simple subjects, but I wanted them to start with something quite easy. They're actually doing an extraordinary job. Their final readout of their policy recommendations are being presented on Friday. They've done extraordinary work as far as this work, so I'm really glad to see it. We have strong programs in entrepreneurship. We talked earlier about our Global Scholars Program in Parker. It's a wonderful program that you integrate your study abroad experiences with your curriculum experiences and your leadership experiences. It's not study abroad just to go visit. It is study abroad to learn deeply, and we have partnerships with those countries so that the learning is far deeper than just touring things. And then we have our Tulsa undergraduate research programs, and that is where our undergraduates get to work closely with our faculty. Our work with the Laureate Institute of Brain Research is extraordinary. 8 of our professors at TU spend about 95% of their time at the Laureate Institute of Brain Research. This year, they've been able to garner $22 million in federal grants to do research around the prediction of mental illness. It is extraordinary what they're doing. The brain imaging that they have is really coming to forefront as far as being able to distinguish one mental illness from another. So you have some pictures there. The brighter colors are more brain activity. As you see in depression, the brain is less active on the depression slide. In bipolar, the right side of the brain is far more active. In schizophrenia, the back part of the brain is too active and the front part of the brain is not active enough. And in obsessive compulsive disorder, the front part of the brain is overthinking. It is obsessing. It is way too active. And we can see those on the brain scans now. It is extraordinary. The frontier of neuroscience is absolutely wonderful. I mentioned our cybersecurity programs. We are one of 3 national centers of excellence. Our students compete in these hackathons and cybersecurity war games, and they do very well. They were national champions. And then we have another program, Joe's Garage, that is working on heavy vehicle security as well, because those vehicles are actually able to be hacked. And our newest partnership is with Tinker Air Force Base, working on the integrity of our jets that are flying across the world as far as their cybersecurity. When we think of energy at the University of Tulsa, we often think of petroleum engineering, but we're very strong in other areas of energy as well. Kirk Smith this year, one of 32 across the country that was a Rhodes Scholar, one of only 2 that was a NCAA athlete, and the work that he does is extraordinary. He looks at sunlight and has created a collector that collects the sun's photovoltaic energy, but also its thermal energy in one collector. Normally, these 2 things are separated. It's incredible work that he's doing, and he's a really nice guy, too. He's a wonderful kid. Right next door, literally next door, the building next door is our new Oxley College of Health Sciences. It is full of advanced technology as far as health professions education. We have 3 floors of simulation, simulated hospital rooms, simulated emergency rooms, simulated operating rooms. It's fantastic. And then the community impact side of TU is absolutely fantastic. Susan Neal is here. She has led our True Blue Neighbors program that does about 75,000 hours of community service back with our students. But if you add the collective of all that we do at TU, it's well over 100,000 hours a year back to the community. And it probably is about $105 million worth of benefit back to the community. We have law clinics that are free for individuals who need legal assistance. We have our engineering program that will go to nonprofits like Little Lighthouse and the Center for Physical Challenges and work on apparatus and robots for the individuals there that need physical assistance. Our Engineers Without Borders program works in Africa on water like the Rotary does. Our Catholic Charities partnership. Our mechanical engineering students go out to Catholic Charities on Saturdays and fix the cars of the individuals that have just moved in there and need their car to be able to go back and forth to work. It's just a wonderful partnership as far as what we do. And then lastly, we are about ready to unveil the Gilcrease expansion. City of Tulsa voters voted for $65 million to expand our wonderful Gilcrease Museum, but alongside that, the Tandy Foundation has donated another $10 million for the technology inside, so it's a $75 million expansion of Gilcrease. That place is extraordinary, extraordinary place. I was off to Charlotte, Virginia, and Monticello to give a speech a few months ago, and asked if did we have anything on Thomas Jefferson? And they unveiled to me handwritten letters by Thomas Jefferson. And that's what I'm reading right there. And this one letter that I was given was written on July 1st, 1776. The people in Virginia were complaining that Thomas Jefferson was not spending enough time in Virginia. He was spending all his time in Philadelphia. And he writes back in somewhat of a terse tone, "If any doubt has arisen to me, my country will have my political creed in the form of a declaration which I was lately directed to draw." So essentially what he's saying is, I'm writing the Declaration of Independence, lay off. But it's extraordinary to have that in your hands, I mean, just those type of documents. And the archives that go along with Gilcrease Museum are untapped as far as what we can see out there. It's extraordinary. And then lastly, as I mentioned before, part of our goal is to connect TU to the rest of the world. So we're building partnerships across this country with Amazon and Microsoft. We've got partnerships with the NSA already in Washington, D.C., and all the federal agencies around cybersecurity. Great energy partnerships in Dallas and Houston, but looking for new health information partnerships in St. Louis and Kansas City, and then energy partnerships in China as well. It's really been an extraordinary year. We added up our frequent flyer miles the past year. Paul and I each have traveled 100,000 miles this past year, which was at least good for upgrades. And then lastly, the things we've learned as we have traveled has just been extraordinary. This is our partners at China University of Petroleum. And I'm in the Gobi Desert with Paula. And lo and behold, it's extraordinary to be at a city that has named itself the oil capital of the world. We've heard that before, but they want to work with us. And that is oil sitting on the surface. So I don't know why they need a petroleum engineer. It's just right there. Just I'll bring a bucket next time. So that's a quick overview of where we are. A big part of where we're going is an economic facilitator, economic driver for the future of Tulsa, because it's really important. I showed you all those daunting statistics, and so we feel an obligation, a responsibility, but also feel like we're well equipped to be able to play a major role in growing Tulsa's economy and connecting us to the world as far as the global marketplace. So as always, I'm happy to take some questions if necessary. Make them easy, though, please. Yes? The strategies as far as lowering the cost of running the university, we're actually doing that at all times. We started with the health plan, and we came in and we went uninsured with the health plan, and at least one set of skills that I have is around health, and we've actually been able to save a significant amount on being self-insured in the health premium that the university pays and our employees pay. We have readjusted our insurance products. We have readjusted our liability coverage. We have worked on new licensing as far as IT infrastructure, and it's never ending as far as that. We have done a huge amount as far as energy management. We have a partnership with AEP and PSO on solar panels. Our whole tennis center, the entire roof is now solar panels as well. So lots and lots of stuff. I have this balance all the time of making sure that I don't cut academic excellence, but at the same time reduce as much administrative and behind the scenes overhead as possible. And it's endless as far as trying to do that. It's a good question. Yes?
Dr. Clancy, do you see the school's continued participation in Division I athletics as part of our strategy going forward?
I do very much so. It is a part of the fabric of college life. It is important to our students. It is important to our alumni. It's important as far as the community coming together. But right now it's a runaway arms race across this country, and there's got to be brought back some balance to it, because right now it is out of control. If you look at viewership, as far as all sports, the generation younger than my generation does not watch near as much sports and athletics. And if you look at attendance across the country in most major athletics, it's down as well. So a new financial model is out there somewhere. I'm just not sure what it is. But to the University of Tulsa, it is a very important part of our fabric. You said there would be easy questions. Yeah, the one in the back first, yeah.
Along the same lines, are there plans to expand this undergraduate enrollment at the
Yes.
university? And if so, where do you see that?
Yep. So right now we're at about 4,600 students. We have done a very in-depth analysis of what can the campus handle without altering the faculty-student ratio that we have right now. Right now we have 11 students for every one faculty member, and that's great. It's one of our unique aspects, that we are a comprehensive university, but in many ways get to be small in what we do. But there are great opportunities in artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, big data, energy diversity, everything health sciences, and so we're going to grow those. We're going to grow them at 3 levels, somewhat to the undergraduate level, but significantly more in the graduate level and in the adult education level. We're seeing a lot of individuals who are mid-career who need to come back and get additional training because their field has changed so much. Cyber is a perfect example, energy is a perfect example, healthcare delivery sciences is a perfect example. So we're going to grow in 3 areas: adult, online, executive, graduate school, and undergraduate at the same time. Our goal is about 5,400. So we'll add about 800 students total. Probably 400 of those being undergraduate and the other being graduate and adult ed. That's where we're going to go. Yes.
Some universities have a goal out there to be a top 25
Yeah.
research institute. How do you see that balance fitting into
Yeah. You know, ranking of universities is changing. It used to be ranked on prestige, reputation, and incoming ACT of a student. Well, that doesn't have anything to do with what a university does as far as output. You've really got to look at how does a university perform. So, yes, we will continue to seek and play the rankings game as far as U.S. News and World Report, but I much prefer and I'm pushing the university in the direction of how do we rank as far as return on investment and value. And so what you're going to look from me is really pushing not our 6-year graduation rate, our 4-year graduation rate, and what is our starting career salaries, what is the placement in the graduate schools, what is the mid-career salaries that our students have, what is the loan debt that our students leave with. To me, those are much more reflective of the performance of a school. So we're not going to get away from the rankings just because, unfortunately, people go right to the rankings. But we're going to be much more deliberate as far as performance of our university and being able to show everybody, you come here, you're going to get a job, and it's going to be a good job. Yes?
Dr. Clancy, on the easy end, I wish you'd share what you said to me before the meeting about being supportive of your current football coach.
Oh, yeah. Coach Phil. Coach Phil is wonderful. He's the real deal. He's a real deal. And we've gotten to know him personally. He is genuine. He loves the student athletes. He loves the families. He takes great care of them. He runs a program that is extraordinary. I'll tell a short story. We had, unfortunately, in this summer, a sexual assault on campus. Our football players were the heroes of that sexual assault. They intervened. They stopped it. They held the bad guy down until the police showed up. And I got a call from our district attorney who said, Dr. Clancy, I just want you to know that your football players are extraordinary. They have been in court on this case now, and they said they are some of the best witnesses around. They're fantastic. So that's the culture that we have with our coach. He's fabulous. Earlier in this year, we really took on sexual assault on campus. And I went to the coach, and I said, Coach, I got to talk to you about sexual assault. And he kicks back his head. He goes, oh, not again. Here comes another class. Where I said, no. I said, your guys are really good. I need you to help me. Help me set the tone. Step in. Will your players not be on the sidelines? Will they intervene? And lo and behold, 2 weeks later, they intervened. So, I mean, that's the character of these players. This year's team, I mean, they had 15 ACLs blowout. 15. And I mean, there's no getting through an ACL. Jesse Brubaker had his shoulder injured significantly very early on. He's far and away one of our strongest leaders. And then our quarterbacks were young. They were just young. So we have every confidence in Coach Phil. He's great. Yeah, he's wonderful. And he's fun. He's fun. And I mean, a year ago, we were number one in the country in number of plays per game. We were the fastest team in the NCAA. And we'll get back to that because it's fun to watch. Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
I understand President Clancy at the University of Tulsa, through your leadership, has in fact implemented a new policy on sexual assault.
We have. I certainly will. So the first thing we did is we hired up individuals that can be educators around sexual assault, particularly for our freshmen and sophomores. Second of all, we have someone that is a confidential receiver of reports that can work with an individual that maybe wants to report something but doesn't want to go all the way with legal action. We now can have someone. The third is that in the middle of the night, Kevin Buck gets the phone call from security, and then Kevin calls me. And so we have a very, very involved administration. We do not want to go down the pathway of what other universities went down, where sexual assault and investigation is over here and university administration is over here. It's all together with us. I know every detail, unfortunately, but we are very, very involved. No one will ever be able to say that we have a lack of institutional oversight at the University of Tulsa as far as sexual assault. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Yes, John.
Are there opportunities for collaboration with OU and OSU and higher ed?
You know, I think there are. Right now, you have a mandate from the governor for consolidation at higher education and K through 12 education, and I understand it. I think, particularly back to the administrative cost sides of things, I mean, are there opportunities for us to share libraries? Are there opportunities for us to share information technologies and licensing? There's got to be. There's got to be. Unfortunately, some of those companies that sell us those services in no way want to do that. You know, the online publishers of important journals, no way do they want me to team up with OSU. But I want to team up with OSU on it. I mean, it's unfortunate. Nowadays, when I write a paper, I actually have to pay $3,000 to get my paper published, and people can have access to it. It's ridiculous. I did the work. I got to pay. Yeah, but yeah, I'd much prefer have a Coca-Cola ad in the journal so that would pay for it instead. Yeah, good question. Yes, Mike. Yeah. The major difference is I've been to, in the past year, been to Oklahoma City once versus the year before that, it was probably 80 to 90 times. I mean, so the need to play political defense is no longer there, which is great. So that's been a big advantage. The second is I feel like we're more nimble. We can change direction. We have a board that is very aligned with administration, and we can change direction as we need to. You know, these challenges up here are big time for all universities. I don't think near as many universities are ready for this as we are, and so I think the nimbleness has been great. Those have been the two big differences. Two big differences, yeah. Sure. Yep. Great question. So, what was the University of Tulsa's role in the city of Tulsa applying for Amazon? We actually were very much in the writing of the proposal. We brought together our computer science folks, our big data folks, our neuroinformatics folks, our bioinformatics folks, our marketing people. We had a team of about 12 that wrote a significant part of the technical side of the advantages that Tulsa can bring to the equation, and we actually felt really good about it. my pitch to Amazon continues, and this will probably be on the web, is we do have a lot of horsepower, brain power down here that can help them create whatever the next version of Amazon is, and our cost of living is extraordinary, and the spirit of the people is great. So if you want to repeat and go to another city that's really high cost as far as cost of living and has traffic problems, don't go there, but it's better here. So it's better here. Yes.
As a psychiatrist, when you're looking at the city of Tulsa and
Yeah.
family life, what advice do you give us as families in our mental health?
Yeah. So we're in the middle of doing a redo of the Lewin study that showed the 14-year difference in life expectancy between North and South Tulsa. This time, the Zero Foundation funded us to specifically look at mental illness and substance abuse. 26-year difference in life expectancy for someone with a major mental illness in Tulsa versus someone who doesn't. And we have a suicide rate and an overdose rate that is 50% higher than our murder rate in town. We've got issues. When you look at what is the driver of that, it starts with early childhood investment. It very much does. We've got a mental health and substance abuse system that everything is pushed to crisis, emergency rooms, and hospitalization when we need to be funding intervention and early identification with children and families. That's where we have to be. Yeah.
Dr. Clancy, Paula, thank you both. Thank you for your leadership at the University of Tulsa, our flagship university here in town, and thank you for your leadership in the community also. We appreciate all the hours that you spend. Thank you very much. So in lieu of a speaker's gift, we will be donating a book to our adopted school, Celia Clinton Elementary, and the title of the book is If You Happen to Have a Dinosaur. There you go. Got to read that one. Okay, upcoming programs. So Dr. Clancy is an honorary member of our club. Next week, we're going to have another honorary member of our club, Mayor G.T. Bynum. And he's going to join us with a report card as he grades himself on his first year as Tulsa's mayor. So that will be interesting. And then the following week, on December 13th, Kylie Stupka with Youth Entrepreneurs out of Wichita, Kansas will be here. Now, Youth Entrepreneurs' objective is to provide high school students, particularly at-risk students, with business and entrepreneurial education and experiences that will help them prosper and become contributing members of society. What started as an 8-week program is now a year-round accredited high school course, and Kylie's going to tell us about that, so that should be interesting too. So I appreciate, again, everyone coming out today and encourage you now to go out, tell your Rotary story, and don't forget to bring a friend to Rotary next week. We are dismissed.